morning everyone. I think this video is going to be super short. Just on the way to the racetrack now to Clark Speedway so we can test the ND Miata with the sequential gearbox. And when we were doing our computations for the final drive and the gearbox ratio, I think it's too long. Like our first gear tops out like 100 kilometers. Perfect for a high horsepower engine, but for the Miata, not so good. So we actually have to change the rear final drive into a taller one. I'm not good with the ratios, but I think we're running a 3.4 rear final drive, and we do have a 4.1 final drive from the automatic ND Miata. And we're not going to be able to do that today because when we checked our stock room, the final drive was stuck up. So we're gonna have to wait for that to be rebuilt and then test again. But for today, it's just to preliminarily shake down the ND Miata with the sequential gearbox and see how it behaves on track. But today, I'm gonna be meeting up with Edgen, our racing team manager, so that we can discuss plans on reviving the Radical, the SLS GT3 AMG, and the developmental plans for the ND Miata, all of which are designed to be track-breaking records. So the SLS GT3 would be to break the road car time, and then the ND Miata, our goal this year is to beat the number of laps per endurance series. So if, let's say, during the 8-hour endurance series we did 200 laps, we want to do 210 laps this year. So either through sheer speed or through sheer efficiency. And now for the 997 GT3 rally car, I should bring that car back to Manila. It's just sitting in Clark. It's not meant to be a track car. The final drive for that car only tops out at 220 kilometers. So it's a very slow track car, but it's a very fun car, super well balanced, and I should take that out this year and go to the dirt. It's just always about the scheduling for us, because also in between our travels, sometimes even if I want to join a specific event, some of the travel dates that I've selected through the year coincide with those events, so I can't do it. Hopefully this year I find some time to go on track. Like this shirt. This shirt is actually when I drove the RWB in Nürburgring. This is from RWB Finland. Thanks so much to Etienne again for the shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts now. I do need to print some more RWB merch this year because we do have some builds coming at the end of the year. It is a gloomy day and we are in the Puro Sangue, still in break-in miles. That's the rates, guys, for 2025. Right, good morning from gloomy Clark Speedway. Boys opening up the garage. Good morning, happy 2025. The garage is messy. Edgen's here. How's our differential? Stuck up talaga or matigas lang? How did that cease? That doesn't make sense. When I store these things, they don't cease. Did they drain the oil?
Probably.
Okay, the real SLS GT3. This is what we based the design off from our road car, but this is the real race car. My 997 GT3 rally car that needs to go down to Manila. The SR8 we need to revive also this year, and just sorting stuff out. I gotta figure out how to get these lifts to work so I can bring this up and put more parts under here. Weather's cold today. I mean, if we were gonna break any track records, it would be now in this cold weather. Brought some parts for the SLS GT3 AMG, and we're gonna inventory that now. We have the rear differential for the ND Miata over there. Edgen's just cleaning the garage so that we can decide on what to work on. So, battery tender up here. This is our C-Tech tender, and then we have a C-Tech tender for lithium over here. So this is the lithium for C-Tech. See, the voltage is a little low, which is good to tender. This Radical has no battery. We haven't even begun to figure out what to do with this. The floor has been cleaned already, but normally there's oil all over the floor. These are the drift tires from the Mazda event. I gotta get them and change tires already. I'm gonna go with less sticky tires, and I have some tires also from the 997 that I need to change. And I have some track tires here, and then I don't know whose tires these are. Ram lights. I don't think that's mine. As my brother said, my BYD. Or CX-90.
CX-90.
I was just telling Edgen, I've never seen any of these tools. Some special wrenches with spline. Special socket with spline. Spacer ring. This is to remove like a lock ring. Special spline. This is super special tool. Look at that. Machined with a hex and then a lock key. This one, no idea that does, but probably to remove something. Slowly but surely, I am working on collecting parts to restore the SLS GT3 AMG because none of these parts are available locally. As you saw with the packaging, it's from AMG Motorsports, not even the dealer. And I want to thank GMG Racing in the US, Tate, for sourcing the parts out for me and getting us everything we need. I still don't know if that's enough things to get this car running. The boys will be back next week. We're going to take down the gearbox and start measuring it based off the manual that we got for this car, and then hopefully we can start to do some serious testing. This is a serious piece of kit. Most likely this will be one of the fastest cars that I pilot here in Clark Speedway. It probably is going to be slower than the Radical, but in terms of automobiles, this would probably it. I spoke to Edgen about the 997 GT3. There is another rally series in Cavite that we can join with this car, but the ride height is too low. The ride height for the GT3 car is actually for tarmac rally. That's why it actually has slick tires also. So I need to end up probably ordering the same Elephant Racing suspension from my RWB so that we can race this up and then run it in the dirt and have some fun with it because the Evo is still under repair. The Carbon Miata should be arriving soon. I'm gonna ask them to leave it, but we're not gonna be that long. We're just gonna do some rounds, some telemetry data and figure out what else we need to change. I actually need to get on my phone and respond to Taka-san from Japan. Give him the details for the brake pads. We have these new tie downs. Make life so much easier. So this trailer was specifically built for my Radical because I wanted to bring the Radical to the other place. So it's an airbag trailer. Sadly, they don't make this anymore. But look at this guy. Perfect for super low race cars. Okay, sequence. Clutch is so soft now. So, kill switch on, neutral engaged. Neutral. If you guys have been following the series on the car, it is the full carbon ND Miata. Started off life as a spec car and now it is our all-out endurance car. Last year we won the overall title for the endurance series, comprising of 3 races, 2 and 4 hour in Batangas Racing Circuit, the 12-hour race in the middle of the year around June, and then the last race of the year was the 8-hour endurance race, and we got lucky. I won't say we dominated completely because we didn't break the number of laps as intended, but the car is running now, and through the help of Mazda Japan, we're actually going to change the wheels and tires. As much as I love work wheels, we're going to get motorsport wheels. I think we have order with Race, and Race is going to provide us some cup wheels, and we're going to now downsize the big brake kit. Now that we lighten the car with a wet weight of about 950 kilos with fuel, we don't need this much braking power. So we're going to downsize the Brembo kit into the Cup Car Brembo kit, which is actually a thinner caliper also, which means we can get the stock Cup Car wheels, which will bring the tires in, and then maybe eventually remove the wide angle fenders. Not quite sure how that's going to behave, but that's part of the plan for this year for this car. Right now the boys are going to do a spanner check on the car just to do overall checkup, because the last time we ran this car was the 8-hour endurance last year, and I ran it around classic speed just to test the gearbox. My time with the car is 212, 213 depending on the tire condition, but Tyson is the 210, and hopefully this year we can break into the 209. That's the main goal. Sadly, Tyson's not going to be able to join us today. He does have work. gonna review the footage now. That was so much fun. Now for the fun part, Edgen is hooking up the AIM so we can get the speed data on that. And then I'm going to be downloading the footage so we can sort of piece everything together. But sometimes we're doing first gear on the corners, which actually makes the car easy to drive. The gear wind is so beautiful.
It's definitely longer.
It's way longer. Third gear, fourth gear lang. So I think the 4-1, maganda yung control kasi walang power yung first eh. And then after that, nag-210 yung predictive ko eh. Oh, just then wala na ako.
Anyway, I'll compare it with the 10.
We're in the power band eh.
Yeah.
Kasi,
This is first gear, no?
Oh, first gear lahat na.
Kaya meron siyang...
May push. 9K over tayo eh.
Yeah.
Five, baby!
10 na nga tayo?
10.
Oh, di tama.
10.05 on the fourth lap. 194 max speed. Wow. Second lap is 12, 11s, and then 10.05.
Yeah!
Nice. So good. It feels so good. All right. What a morning session. Oh my God, that was phenomenal. The gearbox basically gave me a 2-second advantage over the standard gearbox. I was driving really well in the car. I was saying that I wasn't looking at the aim timer because that distracts me. Too many thoughts come into my head. So I was just focused on shifting and being smooth, singing smooth operator while driving. And I was able to clock a 2:10.05, which is by far my fastest time. I think even beating Tyson's time during the qualifying and endurance, which means Tyson will be like a 2:08 or 2:07 with fresh tires. So good. I'm gonna update the chat group now. now, I'm blown away by the performance. I wasn't expecting a huge gain, but this is a massive gain. Now, the downside is temperature probe's not working properly. I need to order a separate clutch kit for spare, and then we're going to lighten the mount that we made to a aluminum mount so that we can shave some weight, and also getting a transmission cooler to make sure that our gearbox is in operating temperatures. So updating the group now, and then maybe later on a rear end, something like a 4.1 or a 4.3, but so far with this setup we might not touch the rear end because times wise we're good. For us to break into the nines is be a feat. The standard Miata will clock 222, a spec car 218, and then our endurance car 210. Yeah. Third session done, not as quick as the morning half because the weather is a little hotter, but the car is easy to drive fast. Got a 10.212, so 100th of a second slower, but we're going to bring the car back to the shop, figure out the temperature probe sensor, and then start working on other things that we need to improve with the car. But this vlog came out great. It's a bit technical for some people, but this is motorsports for you. It's the increments, and I've been updating our chat group also, and everyone's impressed with the advancements. So now we're gonna go back to the drawing board and see what other small things we can adjust to achieve faster time or more number of laps or better efficiency. So in the next episodes, I'm going to be 3D scanning the car to figure out how to design the roof, and then after that we're going to also do a flat bottom under tray to get more efficient there. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.